In there.
And we are back now to KFYR Plus, the news desk, and you may have noticed at your last gas tank fill-up that prices at the pump are trending downward. Well, falling prices are great for drivers, but not so great for the oil and gas industry. Joining me now is an oil and gas expert and a fourth-generation oil man, Jay Young. Welcome, Jay. Thank you for taking some time today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on again. Appreciate you guys.
You got it. So, Jay, let's start out. What factors are contributing to the current decline in gas prices, and how long do you expect this trend to continue?
Well, good question with the election coming up, but let's first talk about what's going on now. And we saw the summer big demand in the summertime. People drive, people love to drive, and people love to vacation, which is awesome. We had a tremendous amount of demand. Now let's go back. I mean, we know that the reason why the price goes up and down in the United States is because of supply and demand. I mean, how much supply is on the market, how much demand is there? It's all about commodities. So that's the reason why prices go up and down. I mean, it's not because of Exxon wanting to make more money at the pump or anything like that. Let's just talk about basic supply and demand. And we took a lot of demand off the table here in the summertime. We're coming off that now, so we're kind of cooling off the summer demand, and we've had pretty much zero interruptions. I mean, disruptions from foreign countries, which allows big disruptions in the canals and oil coming to the United States. So we see supply is good. You know, Texas, which I'm in Texas, and we've seen more oil being produced now in this state than we ever have. So we're drill baby drill here in Texas for sure. So you're seeing the supplies go up. So we're seeing supplies going up, demand softening, so you'll see prices come down. Now your next question was, what about end of this year? And that is I don't even know if I can have the best poker face in the world on coming into the election and what can happen and the strategic reserves and all that, but I see the world tightening up on our supplies, and I can see prices maybe going up until the end of the year.
Okay. Jay, can you explain how global events notwithstanding this summer, such as your geopolitical tensions and even OPEC decisions, how do they impact the gas prices? Absolutely.
Yeah, so what you're seeing is when you see demand going up, and we do see global oil demand going up. But now the supplies. Now the United States does not produce enough oil by itself right now to take care of the addiction, if you will. George W. Bush called it the addiction to oil. We have an addiction to oil in the United States. We love to drive. We love makeup. We love roads. We love all these things that oil does. So we have a big addiction, and we don't have enough oil in the United States. We don't produce enough. We produce enough, but we don't produce enough for our refineries here. So we still need oil from other countries to come in. And any disruption, we get most of our oil from Canada, Mexico, but if you see things from Russia, Iraq, other countries like that, and there's any disruption, which that's, world wars were, well, that's a tongue twister, but world wars were fought because of oil, because there's so much money in oil, as you can see, and there's so much money to be made or not, that if there's any disruptions, and that's what they do, when you see countries going against the other one, you go after their oil because that's where they hurt. So any disruption there, and you can see prices going up.
Well, I guess you can only look back as far as 30 or so years ago with the battle in Iraq, right? Or even 25 years ago, what happened in Iraq. Can you explain, Jay, the relationship between crude oil prices and gas prices, and how do changes in one impact the other?
Yeah, it's a good question. And that's where gasoline does come from. About 60% of a barrel of oil in the United States and also Mexico. A lot of heavy crude coming out of Canada as well. Is if we do have a shortage, if we're not producing enough, if we're not importing enough oil, you'll see gas prices go up because, like I said, 60% of a barrel of oil is for gasoline by itself. Jet fuel, diesel, gasoline. You'll see this. So we do need a lot. And some of the challenges we're seeing in the United States today is our refineries. We don't have enough refineries in the United States. We do need to increase our capacity of our refineries, because the oil goes from the oil field, it goes from there, it goes to the refineries, and it's made into several different blends. Like I said, 60% is gasoline, so we do need that oil. And if we don't get the oil, price of gasoline will go up.
You know, our refinery here in town, Jay, just completed a months-long turnaround. Does that factor in the prices at the pump at all?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what we said before. And you know, with President Biden, he could increase the refinery capacity 10 to 15%, and he didn't want to do that because he doesn't want us to have this addiction to oil anymore. He's against it, as we know. I mean, there's drill baby drill, Donald Trump, and then you have you know, the Biden administration. I'm afraid Harris is going to be the same way on the other side of that, where no fracking. Of course, she's kind of changing her tune on that, but yes, you're seeing when you have capacities refined. We're producing about 14 million barrels of oil in the United States right now. We only have the refinery capacity for 10 or 11, which means that we have to export 4 million barrels that we can't produce here, and we need refined oil coming from Canada, Mexico, these other countries for this. So if we can increase our capacity or build new refineries, and I've got some friends that are looking to build a refinery in Midland, and I said, man, I know who's going to win on this. Your lawyers are definitely going to, because they're going to do the paperwork for days and months and years to come. So they're going to retire off that refinery and all the different, I can't imagine how much, you know, paperwork you have to go through, and all the different institutions and all. It's a lot.
Jay,
but yes. Good
tell
news.
our viewers the last refinery that was built in this country. I mean, when was the last refinery built?
I'm trying to. It's been 20 years ago. I mean, if not longer than that. We don't come out with new refineries, and it's just like I said. You know, anything to do with it. I mean, my great grandfather finished up his career, last 30 years of his career in West Texas, little town called Kahoma, outside Big Spring, which is outside Midland, which is in West Texas. But you can drive around the corner in Big Spring, and you know you're in Big Spring, even if you're taking a nap, because of the smell of those refineries. You know, I don't know how it is. I don't know how it is there with your refineries, but just some refineries, you can't get away from it.
Which is odd because, okay, I have a home, Jay, that I bought. It was built in 1953, and it was built for refinery workers. I live on the north side of Mandan. The refinery is literally about a mile away from my home, right? And that refinery has been around since the 50s. And tell me, all these refineries across the country have got to be getting older, 80 years old now. I mean, why are we not building? Is it just cost prohibitive? What's stopping us?
Yeah, regulation. It's the cost. I mean, how do you make money with them? And that's what they're looking at from the standpoint of in Midland. Look at the east side of Midland, and they've gone from two different sites now because they know they couldn't get it passed from one place. They're having to go to another on building a new refinery because they're just they're not popping up, and there's just too much regulation, too much paperwork, too much. I can't imagine trying to do one here in this country, because it's like, because the spread between a barrel of oil, and what you buy it for, what you refine it as and send it out, it's just not that great. And with the regulations today, and if you have a Democratic, or I'm assuming even Republican administration that comes in, I can't imagine the regulations and them shutting you down if you have a spill or if you have a flare. There's so many different things that are going against the oil and gas industry that have been going, against the industry here for, since Biden came in, that, I just don't see it being a huge positive for the industry. And for that, I see oil and gas prices going up. I wrote in my book, The Upside of Oil and Gas Investing, all about the supply and demand regulations and what's going to happen, not only now, but 5, 10, 15 years from now. And yes, you could have some good electric cars that come in and take out oil, but you're not going to take it all out. I mean, we're we're way away. We're never going to be away from taking all the oil and gas out of the country. So our demand for oil is going to stay strong for a long period of time. Regulation, and that's a different story.
So let's turn it this way, Jay. What impact does this lower gas price at the pump have on the oil and gas industry as a whole, and how do companies adapt to these changes?
That's a really good question, and that's what I've been talking about too on a lot of other social media channels about right now. Is okay. So we're going into an election. I had dinner with Mark Cuban, during one of the past administrations or past elections, and he was looking at the TVs during the election, and he voted Democrat because he said, I know that's the best thing for my business is voting Democrat. The same with oil and gas. I mean, there's a lot of oil and gas people that are saying, I like Trump because he says drill, baby, drill. But long term, 2, 3, 4 years from now, when he fills the market full of oil and the price goes to $20 or $30 or $40 a barrel, that's not good. That's not good for investors, especially, what we do. So you're like, okay, well, you drill wells at $70 a barrel and you get 30 for the oil. It's not good, So and I don't think Trump, myself personally, there's too many institutions that are out of the game. They're not coming back and putting hundreds of billions of dollars under, Trump's drill baby drill plan. They're not going to do it. So we're not going to drill baby drill even if Trump gets in. So we may see a little bit more of a drilling because he's already promised a lot of people, if you give me money, I'll give you every permit you want. He's already said that. He had one of those 5 or 6 people at Mar-a-Lago, and he said, hey, if you give me $1 billion for my campaign, I'll let you drill wherever you want to forever, but that's not going to change, that's not going to be, it's not going to go from 14 million barrels a day to 20 or something. And plus our refineries can't handle it anyway, so.
Yeah. What is the break-even price for oil these days, Jay?
Yeah, well, we're looking at a project right now. It's at $75 a barrel. The return's like 106%. And so, looked at it like it's $27 or $28 is really break even. If you get below that, you're like into negative territory. So now what you don't want to do, obviously, is drill them at these, because anytime you drill wells or anytime you're in this industry, it does cost more to drill a well when price is $75, $80. It may cost you, $8 million to drill a well at $75. May only cost you, 5 or 6 million when the price goes way down, because there's not as many people out there that are getting bids, and there's people that are keeping the price up to drill. And so, it goes both ways, but we do see for shale oil, and I'm saying SHALE, the unconventional Bakken or the Permian Basin. Now that's higher in regards to return on investment, or I guess multiple return on invested capital. Because it is a more expensive well to drill, and you have to really frack it hard, spend a lot of money. They're drilling 3-mile long laterals now. Imagine going underneath the ground. You're going underneath the ground 2 miles, and you're going out 3 miles. 5 miles from where you start is the last part way out there in the end, which is a lot. But
so let me quickly ask you.
It's a big investment.
It is a big investment. We've got, of course, the Bakken Shale up here in North Dakota. Are you familiar with the Carbon Summit Solutions project?
No.
Okay, that's another question.
I've heard of it, but I have not enough to talk intelligently about it.
Yeah,
we'll
save it for a different time. I thought maybe you might have an opinion on it, but I'll get you out of here with this, Jay. Are there any potential risks or uncertainties that could disrupt now the current trend of falling gas prices?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. We could all of a sudden, not be able to produce or as much oil, or we could have less imports come from other countries. Some type of disruption overseas. Anytime you see that, you see $2, $3 coming up. It's up $1.50 today. Oil is. So there's always news out there that you could have that could, hurt. I just think we're at a $70 to $80 level right now until after the election, and I think after the election we'll go above 80. So, if
Sure.
you can go take your lawnmowers down and get it fill them full of gas at these cheaper prices, because I don't think they're going to be around for a long time.
Jay, one last question, then we'll let you go. How much influence, and this is for the folks online, social media, does the president have controlling the price of gasoline at the pumps?
A lot. And what I mean by that is when you have someone like, former President Trump, drill, baby, drill, drill, baby, drill, drill, baby, drill, and he's going out to institutions and he's talking about it. He is doing a bang up job on lowering oil prices. I mean, prices got down to, was it 25, 35, maybe $40 a barrel under his administration. He's filling the strategic reserves at real low prices. And President Biden, what has he done? He's done nothing but, hey, we don't want this pipeline. We don't want you to drill in California, Colorado. He's just so negative on it. And his influence is really key on anybody's influence when you're a president is key on what the price is going to be, because you're driving that supply, and that's what Biden's done is we're still producing a lot of oil, but it's taken us a long time to get there in Texas, just because that's the way the economics are running. But if we had a lot more capital here in Texas, and if there's a lot of institutions that didn't get out, no telling where we'd be right now in regards to production. Maybe at 15 or 16 million barrels of oil in the United States, but like I said, President Biden is just not pro oil and gas, and he any type of influence he has, and if you're going against him, I mean, obviously that's not good. Talking politics,
Yeah. Jay Young, thank you so much for your expertise on that. I appreciate everything, my friend, and we'll catch up with you again soon, maybe right before the election, all right?
Sounds great. I'll be here.